Hello Internet, welcome to Making Money. My name's Eric and this is your Daily Dollar, our financial segment where I give you one financial lesson every day to help you reach your financial goals. So it's a big one today, guys. We've got a very important lesson. This is something that's going to make it or break it for many people in their financial lives. This dictates whether or not you get loans, whether or not you get jobs in some cases. It is cryptic in a way, and although many of us or most of us are aware of it, we're not quite all sure what it is or how we can influence it. Today's topic is credit score. Specifically, what is credit score? So credit score is a huge topic that we could talk about for a long time, and we're actually going to split this up into kind of two lessons, I think. Today's lesson, we're going to go over what is a credit score, why do we have them? We're going to talk about how many credit scores you have, and we're going to talk about what is a good and what is a bad credit score. And then in a separate lesson, we'll go over taking a bad credit score and working your way up to a better credit score. All right, so what is a credit score? Well, plain and simple, a credit score is a score, a numeric value that tells how high of a credit risk you are. So if a company or individual were to lend you money, if they were to give you credit, right, what the likelihood of you repaying that money is, what the risk that they will lose their investment because you won't pay it back. That's basically what a credit score is. And there's a lot of nuance here, guys. So when I say it's basically what it is, that's basically what it is. Credit scores are interesting because credit scores are run by private companies. You're probably familiar with the three bureaus that run what we know as our three credit scores. You may or may not be familiar with this. There's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And these three bureaus, they are the ones who, when we think of a credit score, they're the ones who use algorithms to determine our credit score. And it's based on a lot of information from your credit history. You know, how much loans you have, how much you're paying back, what your rates are currently. It can be a ton of stuff. So when we talk about credit score, we say credit score, but really there exists for you a few different credit scores. Each one of the bureaus will calculate the credit score, and they use what's called, they do a called a Vantage Score. And the reason why I'm going to get into this detail in a second, but so the three bureaus create something that's called a Vantage Score. And each one calculates it slightly different. They use the same information, but the algorithm to calculate your score is a little different. Now, you may have also heard of a Fico Score, and Fico is Fair Isaac Company, which is a different company, calculates your credit score using a different method, using the Fico method. So when we say credit score, again, we think of a score, but really there's four that are the major ones. And, you know, private companies can calculate their own scores. You can go online and calculate your score. Excuse me. You could go to basically any website, and you got to be careful doing this because obviously you don't want to put any personal information in. This is a big scam area, so I wanted to make sure I pointed this out, that yes, you can go online and look up your credit score, but be careful if you do that. Credit Karma is a great way to do it. If you are looking to look up your scores, you can also request your scores from the bureaus. But we're getting off track. FICO versus Vantage Score, all right? Really, there's two types of scores here. Now, Vantage Score used to be scaled on a different model. It used to be from, I think it was 300 up to almost 1,000. FICO is on a scale of 300 to 850. Now, Vantage is working off of a new model called Vantage 3.0, and that also runs a 300 to 850 credit score. Which means nowadays, when you look at your credit score, depending on, regardless of who you're looking at it through, chances are you're looking at a 300 to 850 score. That is the possibilities, right? 300 being the lowest, 850 being the absolute best. So Whether you look at a Fico or a Vantage or one of the 3 bureaus, or go to Credit Karma and get the combination thereof. What is a good credit score and what is a bad credit score? What's a fair credit score? What's an excellent credit score? So we'll start off on the low end first. So if we say between 300 and 629, that is considered a bad credit score. If you're in that area, it can be very difficult for you to get loans without getting astronomical rates. In some cases, you may not even be able to get a loan. If we're talking about credit cards, it may be very difficult for you to get a credit card. And if you do get one, you'll get one with some crazy penalties or crazy interest rates. So this can be a very tough zone to work in. Now, that being said, there are ways out of it, and we'll talk about that in the next lesson tomorrow. But bear with me. So you've got your very bad range, then you've got your fair range, all right? This is your 630 to 689, and that's what we consider our fair range. Mediocre, you're going to get slightly higher interest rates. Your penalties will be slightly worse. You may get declined for some cards. You may not be able to get all the loans you want. But this is a fair region, all right? Then we get into the good credit scores. This is your 690s to your 719s. And that is when we're talking about, okay, now you're able to get, pretty good rates. You're able to get some perks, some good money back on, again, if we're talking about credit cards. If we're talking about loans, rates are going to be lower. Payback methods are going to be a little easier in some cases. You might not have to get quite as long of a loan. There's many advantages to getting a higher credit score. And then we have the cream of the crop, 720 to 850. All right, and this is an excellent credit score. If you have a credit score in that range, well done. You're doing credit right. Now, maintaining that credit is going to be important because it's very easy with a few mistakes to fall from an excellent credit score down to even a bad or fair credit score down there. So when we talk about credit score, again, 300 to 850, go ahead and sign up for Credit Karma or get in touch with one of the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and you can get what your credit score is. Once you know, then you can start taking some steps to improve it. Alrighty, so that was credit score lesson 1. What the hell is it? Tomorrow we'll go into a little bit more about what you can do to improve it. I hope you like this video, guys. It is a very important topic. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, feel free to subscribe. Really appreciate it. I'm interested in hearing if you are willing to volunteer the information, what is your credit score? Feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I'll take the first step. I had a very high credit score. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I almost had an 800 credit score. And then I did something strange that doesn't seem like it should have impacted my score, and it brought me down to, well, initially a 650, so still within the fair range, but still much lower than I was at. And I've been able to work that up to a 720, depending on which bureau you're using. And I'm working on improving my score from here. And that was over the course of the last year that I was able to bring it from a 650 to a 720 range. So yes, it takes some time to repair a score, but it's definitely something you can do. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video, and we'll talk all about that. All right, see you guys.